Right now, inside your head, billions of cells are producing waste, tiny fragments of damaged proteins, used chemicals, exhaust fumes from your own thoughts, and your brain has a cleaning system designed to remove them before they become dangerous. Most people never notice it, because it doesn't activate when you sleep harder, or when you drink another green juice, or when you sit completely still trying to relax. It activates when you move. And one of the most powerful triggers is something almost everyone ignores: walking. Not intense exercise, not punishment, just movement. Because after only a few minutes of walking, something unusual begins happening inside your brain. Blood flow changes, electrical activity shifts, hidden cleaning systems begin to wake up, and around the 8-minute mark, your brain starts flushing out toxins more efficiently. But here's the part most people miss. This process isn't just about fitness. It may explain why your mind suddenly feels clearer after a walk, why stress loosens its grip, and why some of your best thoughts appear when your feet are moving. Because what happens next inside your body is far more intelligent than most people realize. Your body was never designed to stay still for hours. Think of your brain like a massive city operating 24 hours a day. Every thought is electricity. Every memory is a delivery. Every emotion is a chemical message racing through crowded streets. But every city produces waste, and if garbage trucks stop moving, the streets slowly clog. That's essentially what happens inside a sedentary brain. When you sit for long periods, circulation slows, signals become less efficient. Your brain still works, but it works in a foggier environment. Now imagine what happens the moment you start walking. At first, it feels insignificant. A few steps, a slight increase in heart rate, maybe your breathing changes just a little. But internally, your body immediately recognizes movement as a signal. Not exercise, not calorie burning. A signal that says, the human is active again. Prepare the systems, and this changes everything. Within the first couple of minutes, your muscles begin demanding more oxygen. Your heart responds instantly. Blood vessels widen slightly. Circulation increases. More oxygen-rich blood starts traveling upward toward your brain. Now watch this. Your brain is extremely expensive to run. Even though it's only a small percentage of your body weight, it consumes massive amounts of energy. So whenever blood flow improves, your brain notices immediately. Areas involved in attention and awareness begin receiving more fuel. Neurons communicate more efficiently. Electrical signaling becomes smoother. You don't consciously feel all of this yet, but internally, the environment is already changing. And then something even more interesting happens. As your body continues walking, rhythmic movement starts affecting the nervous system itself. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. That repetitive motion acts almost like a metronome for your brain. Stress hormones begin shifting. Breathing patterns synchronize. Your nervous system slowly moves away from survival mode. This is why people often say they clear their head during walks. It's not imaginary. Your biology is literally reorganizing itself in real time. But here's where it gets fascinating. Around several minutes into movement, your brain starts increasing the circulation of cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid surrounds your brain and spinal cord like a protective river. Its job is not only protection, but cleanup. Think of it like an internal washing system. All day long, your brain cells generate metabolic waste. Some of it harmless, some of it potentially dangerous if allowed to accumulate for too long. And movement appears to help this cleaning system operate more effectively, especially rhythmic, sustained movement like walking. Now this is where most people stop, but this is where it actually starts. Because after roughly 8 minutes of continuous walking, your body fully recognizes that this activity is continuing. You're no longer in the starting phase. You've entered activation mode. Your circulation stabilizes. Oxygen delivery becomes more efficient. Your nervous system adapts to the rhythm. And inside your brain, networks associated with focus and memory begin communicating differently. Researchers have noticed that walking can increase activity in regions tied to creativity and problem-solving, which may explain something strange almost everyone experiences. You struggle with a problem while sitting still, then suddenly find the answer while walking. That's not random. Movement changes the environment your thoughts are operating inside. And this changes everything. Because your brain is not separate from your body. It responds to movement like a system responding to electricity returning after a blackout. More circulation, more nutrient delivery, better waste removal, more balanced signaling. And meanwhile, another shift is happening quietly in the background. Inflammation begins decreasing. Now, inflammation isn't always bad. Your body uses it for protection and repair. But chronic low-grade inflammation inside the brain can interfere with clarity, mood, and energy. And prolonged inactivity tends to make that worse. Walking interrupts that pattern. Not dramatically, not violently, gradually, like opening windows inside a stuffy room. This is why even a short walk can sometimes change your mood faster than expected. You think you're just walking, but internally, chemistry is changing. Blood sugar becomes more stable. Stress signals begin calming. Certain neurotransmitters associated with mood and motivation start shifting upward. Your body starts acting less like it's trapped, and more like it's functioning as intended. But here's the part most people misunderstand. Walking is not simply exercise. It's communication. Every step sends information through your muscles, nerves, heart, lungs, and brain. Your body interprets movement as proof that survival is active. That exploration is happening. That adaptation is required. And the body loves adaptation. Think of your body like a factory built to constantly upgrade itself based on the signals it receives. If the signal is stillness all day, the factory slowly powers down unnecessary systems. Circulation efficiency drops. Energy production becomes sluggish. Muscles weaken. Mental sharpness dulls. Not because your body hates you, because it's efficient. Why maintain expensive systems that never get used? But the moment movement becomes consistent, the factory wakes back up. Now watch this. One study found that regular walking may help support the brain's glymphatic system, a cleanup network linked to removing waste products from brain tissue. Other research has shown walking improves blood flow to regions involved in memory and executive function. And interestingly, even moderate walking has been associated with reduced risk of cognitive decline later in life. Not through one magical workout, through repetition, signals repeated over time. That's how the body changes. Quietly, gradually, intelligently. But there's another layer to this most people never think about. Your ancestors evolved while moving. Human brains didn't develop while sitting under artificial light for 11 hours a day. They developed during migration, tracking, exploration, walking long distances across unpredictable environments. Movement and thinking evolved together, which may explain why prolonged stillness often creates a strange mental heaviness. Your brain expects motion, and when motion disappears completely, systems designed for dynamic environments begin operating below their potential. This is where it gets interesting, because the benefits don't stop when the walk ends. After you finish walking, your body continues responding. Your circulation remains elevated for a while, stays more balanced. Insulin sensitivity improves. Certain repair processes continue working in the background. And over time, your brain starts adapting to expect movement regularly. This is called neuroplasticity. Your brain literally rewires itself based on repeated behaviors. Consistent walking can strengthen pathways associated with focus, emotional regulation, and memory. Not overnight, but slowly, like water carving a new path through stone. And this may be one of the biggest reasons walking feels so different after weeks of consistency. At first, it feels physical. Later, it feels mental. You notice clearer thinking, better emotional control, less internal noise. Not because walking solved your life, but because your internal system started functioning more efficiently. And this changes everything. Because modern life constantly overloads the brain. Notifications, stress, artificial stimulation, endless sitting, constant information. Your nervous system rarely gets a true reset. Walking gives it one. Not through force, through rhythm. And there's something deeply biological about that rhythm. The steady repetition of footsteps appears to calm parts of the brain associated with hypervigilance. Your breathing steadies, your eyes scan wider environments, your muscles loosen. Your body slowly receives a message it hasn't heard all day. You are safe enough to move. That message matters more than most people realize, because many people are mentally exhausted, not from effort, but from constant low-level tension. Walking interrupts that tension, not instantly, but predictably, step by step, and if you ignore movement completely, the opposite pattern slowly develops. Circulation becomes less efficient. Energy regulation worsens. Mental fatigue increases. Stress chemistry lingers longer. The body adapts downward, just as intelligently as it adapts upward. That's the real danger of inactivity. Not dramatic collapse. Gradual disconnection from the systems designed to keep you sharp, stable, and clear. But the good news is surprisingly simple. Your body responds incredibly fast once movement returns. You don't need perfect workouts. You don't need extreme routines. Sometimes your biology changes with something as simple as walking long enough for your systems to remember what movement feels like again. And around that 8-minute mark, your brain begins shifting into a different state. Cleaner circulation, better signaling, more efficient communication. Not magic, biology. Your body isn't broken, it's responding to the signals you repeatedly give it. And walking may be one of the oldest, simplest signals your brain still understands perfectly. A signal that says, stay alert, stay adaptable, stay alive. So the next time you go for a walk, remember, inside your head, millions of tiny systems are moving with you, cleaning, adjusting, repairing, rebalancing, one step at a time. What surprised you most about what happens inside your brain during a walk?